Am I wrong for telling my sister that I don't want to be around her if she doesn't correct her son's behavior? I, a 28-year-old woman, have 2 kids, a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old boy, with my husband, who is also 28. My sister Meredith, who is 32, and her husband, also 32, have 2 boys as well, Eugene, who is 13, and Atlas, who is 11. We just got back from a cruise with Meredith's family. We had several issues with Eugene's behavior on the cruise. Eugene is normally a pretty quiet kid. When we go over to Meredith's house, Eugene is usually in his room playing video games with friends, working on his robotics, or science experiments, stuff like that. However, we saw his true colors on this cruise. The first problem we had was when Atlas wanted to show us the clothes he got for the cruise. Our family is white, Atlas's girlfriend is black, and we live in a predominantly white area. Atlas plays basketball, and a lot of the TV shows he watches are about basketball. Right now, he wants to learn Mandarin and Korean so he can watch basketball sitcoms in other languages. Atlas's favorite basketball players and music artists are black, and his favorite genre of music is rap and hip-hop. His girlfriend has influenced his style choices, and when he showed us his clothes, it was very clear his outfits came from black-owned fashion businesses. Atlas has always been more influenced by black culture than you'd expect for a kid who is wealthy and white. My husband and I have always felt conflicted on this. What is appropriation versus appreciation? We don't feel like we can make a judgment on that as white people. The issue is, Eugene made a comment about Atlas dressing like a N-word. When my husband and I expressed our shock at his statement, he doubled down and said he only said it because it's true, and that Atlas should stop dressing like an N-word if he didn't want to hear that. Meredith and her husband heard him say that and didn't do anything. Later that night, I asked Meredith in private if they ever spoke to him about that comment. She said they did but didn't want to ruin the mood, so when he defended himself, they didn't push back. I later spoke to Atlas in private, and he said that Eugene uses the N-word all the time, despite him getting upset over it. Another issue was when Atlas was crying over a minor bruise he got after bumping into a table. He was playing with our oldest and running around. Eugene was also in the room and told Atlas to stop crying, saying that crying was for F***Gs. Again, Meredith and her husband did nothing. When I said something about watching our language, Eugene said he did nothing wrong. The last major problem we had was at dinner one night. We had a server who was visibly some type of Asian. Eugene made a joke about how we're probably going to get dog meat from this server. I told Eugene to cut it out, and he just rolled his eyes at me. We got back from the cruise on Friday morning and were back home by Friday evening. We went to Meredith's for dinner on Friday night. Atlas had his girlfriend over, and I could see he was trying to avoid Eugene whenever he came near him. Once his girlfriend left, I decided to speak to Atlas in private. I went to speak to Eugene. He had 2 friends over. All 3 of the boys said Eugene did nothing wrong and doubled down on their behavior. One of his friends suggested I was on my period because I was getting too offended, and Eugene said I was proving why women shouldn't be in politics. After all of this, I went to Meredith and told her that if Eugene's behavior didn't change, that I do not want my family to be around her as I think he would be a bad influence on my sons. She said I was being too harsh and that he would grow out of being edgy. She said she tried therapy but he rejected it and she isn't going to force him to go and strain their relationship. She said I was overstepping my boundaries. Am I wrong for putting my foot down about this? What do you think? What would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments.